Hey guys, welcome to Geared Forwards. My name's Paul, and today we're going to be taking a look at what might just be the current king of budget folders. This is the QSP Penguin. Now this comes in at around, I believe I originally paid for this around £28, something like that. And I bought this originally I bought this many years ago, like 2020 maybe, 2019. I'm not exactly sure on the year, but I've had this a while, and it's a fantastic knife. I would quite happily pay a lot more, to be honest, for the quality and including the materials that you do get. Now, of course, this is a budget option. There are some compromises to be had. There are definitely some areas that could be refined, polished, but in the overall grand scheme of things, that's more like gilding the lily and not an essential part of the folder. Pocket knives should ideally carry well, open easily, and cut well. And this does all of those things. We have a nice Warncliffe blade, which is going to be great for some draw cuts. If you want to get down flat to something, you can't get, let's see if I can get that down for you. So it's not going to touch greatly, but that kind of cutting, you'd probably be best off with something else, particularly if you're trying to do that with food. In terms of carry options, we do have a deep carry clip. Show that. It comes up to the entire top of the knife, and that's thanks to this lovely tuck-in system. They didn't invent it, it is on other knives, but it is more work and great to see. This means that when this knife is all the way in your pocket, what you're essentially going to see is that sticking out the top plus the actual clip. Let's go ahead and simulate a pocket. There we go. I would go so far to say is that when this is tucked, there's no billboarding on the clip, there's not much of it showing at all. A lot of people, especially those that are, that don't commonly see clipped pocket knives, are not going to realize that this is even a knife, and that is a great thing. In terms of materials, we're looking at D2 for the blade, stainless steel liners, and this is a denim micarta handle, scales. Now, that is honestly one of the things that initially drew me to the knife, besides the price. These scales are lovely. And these are not dyed, as far as I'm aware. This is actual denim, compressed and epoxied into micarta. Now, the action is wonderful. I do maintain and play with my knives to make sure that the actions are good, that they're not going to rust out from under me and whatnot. I store my knives in drawers with silica packets to make sure that moisture is not going to be an issue. However, I will say that I have not done anything to this knife. I've not sharpened it, I've not tweaked the pivot or put any lubrication in there. The action you see is, by and large, what it was at the box. I'm sure that there's been some smoothing in, but I remember being just as impressed by the action at the box. And when you're not doing this under a camera, it is, oh yeah. Now this is running on phosphor bronze, I believe, and the action is just great. You can even, as this is an ambidextrous thumb stud, you can go ahead and Spidey flick it. And for all you lefties out there, not really a problem either. The lock bar itself has a little bit of jimping. It's nice and round, it's not sharp at all, even as you're coming at it at an angle. There is enough of it cut out that you can easily get to it. It's not stiff at all. great action. Overall, a great knife. Now you do have, again, some downsides, but whilst we're still talking about the good, it is an ambidextrous clip. You can flip it righty or lefty, which combined with the thumb studs makes this a great option for right or left-handed users. Now the lock is a liner lock that is not strictly an ambidextrous lock. However, this is my left hand and I don't really... There we go. And it's not really a problem. And for the record, I am right-handed, so a left-handed person with more dexterity is probably going to have an easier time with this than me and not fail flips embarrassingly on a video. In terms of not really things that this has failed at, I don't think this has failed at or has anything particularly wrong with it, but in terms of things that could be a little nicer, shall we say, could be a little bit extra, and realistically you're not going to get at this price point. There might be the odd company that does it, or the odd knife that has some of the things I'm about to talk about, but by and large it's not a thing that you can reasonably expect as standard. So first of all, this is a design thing. The lanyard hole is just kind of a slot cut out. I personally prefer hidden lanyard holes, and as long as the cord is thin enough, you could wrap one around this rear standoff here, as the blade does not actually touch it, or come near to touching it. Let me just throw some light in there for you. I have no urge to put a lanyard on this to begin with, so that's not really an issue. And whilst lanyard holes can be a bit obtrusive to the looks of a knife, I'm not really concerned about it. Otherwise, the overall weight, this is not a light knife. I don't have an exact weight for you right now, but it's between the denim micarta and the steel liners, it does have some weight to it. Balances about here, so south of the pivot, and that could be helped greatly by, let me just grab a light, by skeletonizing the liners. The liners are full steel, there is no skeletonizing whatsoever. That would help with the balance a little bit. Again, the balance isn't bad to begin with, and reduce some of that weight. But again, it's not extremely heavy. It's comfortable to carry, and it's still comfortable and wieldy to use. So that's just, again, a nicety, but that extra machining does incur extra cost. The same way with this other nitpick, and this is all these are really, this is just nitpicks. As you can see, the screws are not countersunk. They do enter the path of the fabric of your pants in the clip. There is plenty of height here for jeans, chinos, slacks, cargo pants. I've never had a problem getting a pant pocket all the way to the top of this. Again, it would be nice just for the looks of the knife, if not the extra little bit of added compatibility for those to be countersunk. But again, that's an additional machining step. That's going to be an additional delay, additional cost. And again, gilding the lily. These things are just nitpicks. So why don't we show it off against some of the competition, directly and indirectly, to give you some size comparison. So here is the Ontario Rat number 1. As you can see, it is significantly larger. However, as I knock my flashlight over, the effective cutting edge is longer on the Rat 1, just overall. This would be more comparable to the Rat 2. Unfortunately, I do not have one of those currently to compare with. Here we have a Spyderco Dragonfly. Again, these are just to give you an idea of what these sizes are like. Some more common, cheaper touchstones. So here we have a 91mm Susami knife, that is the compact, and a 58mm, this is a classic. Give you the same shot with the blades out. And finally, one more thing that might be helpful for some people, particularly non-knife folks that might be interested in picking up a good knife at a cheap price. Here is a Leatherman Wave. And do the same thing with the knife open. So you can see this knife isn't particularly small or large. It's a good medium size. In terms of effective blade length, 1 second. So that is going to be 8 centimeters, or if you want inches, let's do this live. Never say that YouTubers are not universally prepared. So, effective cutting edge is less than 3 inches, but overall blade length, again, it depends how much the certain police officer dealing with you likes you, is a little over, I think. So overall, this is a fantastic knife, and if the denim micarta is not doing it for you, they do actually have a huge range of options for this. And that's one of the selling points, to be honest. At the same price point of the denim micarta, there's kind of a red or like a dusty color, almost, micarta. There is brass, or bronze, I think it's bronze. There might be copper. There is actually like shred carbon fiber with like red flecks, and there is obviously the carbon fiber and the brass or bronze do cost a little bit more, and there is actually a premium version of this design. There is the Penguin in titanium, and that ups the blade steel to 154 cm. It becomes a titanium frame lock. The clip changes from this traditional bent style to more of a sculpted clip. And just overall, some niceties. The pivot has the triangular logo of QSP on it instead of just being a bare shiny pivot. And that comes in the UK currently at Haney for $88.95, which, wow. Now, just in case you're unfamiliar with Haney, it's one of the major retailers in the UK, and generally this is what you can say about their pricing. They'll have a lot of stuff, they'll introduce you to a lot of stuff, but it will rarely be the best price on that stuff. But £89 for a titanium frame lock with 154 cm steel, with good action and good quality control, that's a bargain. Just like this is a bargain, and you can't go wrong with any Penguin that you pick up in any material. So I hope you found this video informative and somewhat entertaining. That's what the blunders are for. If you are interested in this knife, or if you have this knife and you're happy with it or unhappy with it, you have criticisms or praise, go ahead and throw that down in the comments section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, then just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notifications that may or may not work at random times. But this has been Geared Forwards. I've been Paul, and until next time, have a good day.